Hi, welcome to American Reversion, and welcome to Freedom Friday on February 12th, 2021. I am Steve Smith. Um, First off, I want to welcome everyone. I want to welcome all the new subscribers. It's great to have you here, and welcome everyone who's coming over to Patreon. That is great. I really appreciate that. Um, and your support is more than I had expected. And that support that you give will be well used to further those things that all of us care about and feel are important. So thank you very much. Um, Today I want to talk about fighting 1,000 battles. Um, in that case, and kind of preparatory to that, what I have put over today on Patreon for Freedom Friday is another lecture by Larry Arnn, president of Hillsdale College. And it is one of the series of lectures on the Constitution. Today's topic is laws of nature and nature's God. That's very important, and knowing that is very important. It's one of the reasons, as I'll get into here in a minute, about fighting the 1,000 battles, that I do encourage everyone go over and join on the Patreon channel, because that's where we are putting up a lot of information that is going to help educate you, to help you learn, um, to help you know so many things that will help you in fighting these 1,000 battles. Now, in any situation where you're contending against a group or a person of an opposing opinion, it's it's necessary to have a commanding knowledge of your subject. And I should say here that there are many ways to contend against an opposition. And I'm not putting down or denigrating any other type of opposition, but in this, we want to talk about arguing our case. The new administration continues to attack our republic and our constitutional rights, ruling by edict through more executive orders in his first few days than I think all of the previous presidents had put together. They're not making any pretense of trying to go about this in a representative manner or a democratic manner. They have the power, and they're going to use it. That's where they are stronger than our side. They are not inhibited by any desire to be fair. They charge on because of their own feeling of moral rightness, and a feeling that those of us on the other side are evil and mean and all of those things. Now, I said that kind of lightly. I don't mean to make light of that at all. It's a very serious and a very dangerous situation. Our republic is headed towards some very bad times. Whether it will come out the other end of this resembling what it's supposed to be or not, we have yet to know. But we want to be able to participate in the opposition and in the fight against it, because whatever happens with this, we have to be determined to come out the other side, if not saving, then forming a new whatever it is we want to form. Interestingly enough, and I'll insert this here, the kids are home today because it's very, very cold. It's 2 degrees. The people up in Minnesota and Wisconsin and Michigan will laugh at that. But because of the cold, for whatever reason, they felt that the little kiddos had to stay home today. So I love having them home. And they're up doing their Zoom meetings now. And a little bit later, they're going to come down and we are going to start memorizing parts of the Declaration of Independence. Why would we do that? Well, because one of the arenas in which we are fighting this fight is the arena of ideas, of being able to convince other people that we are right. Now, every struggle for independence or reversion of something will include a number of different facets. Um, I I almost said something I'm going to keep myself from saying right now. If you are interested in the multifaceted type of opposition, I carry a lot of that over on the Integrative Preparedness Patreon channel, where right now I'm talking about the Irish struggle and how they handled that over there. But the 1,000 battles that I'm talking about here are the many, many times, the thousands of times that you'll have over the years to be able to talk to other people and hopefully have an effect on them. This is important. Too often on our side, we are viewed, because we tend to come off very, very vocal, very sometimes almost strident, sometimes very harsh in our stands, because we feel strongly about the principles our country and our lives are based on. Those we see those as simple things, simple principles. We feel confused that they should even have to be defended, but they do have to be. 50 years ago, our country was a much different place. Everybody understood these principles. Our country has become a very different place from then. And we are living in the country we are living in now, and we need to accept that. And we need to be willing to engage and join the fight to try to gain that back. The way that we do that without going to physical confrontations is trying to win back the understanding, the hearts and minds, the opinions of as many people as we can. And there will be those who say, well, it's gone beyond that. It's time to go to something a little more drastic. To them, I would say, I understand your position entirely. And I'm not saying that it will never come to that. What I'm saying is that time has not yet come. And even if it does come, trying to convince as many people of our position is very important, because in doing so strengthens us and weakens the opposition. This is something that more people need to really get a lock on, I think, and become a part of. So anyway, as I was saying, it's easy for us to just listen to this pablum that comes out of the left and make statements like, well, that's stupid, that's ridiculous, that's insane, and let it go at that. Well, all those things are true, but when we talk to people who agree with us, they understand exactly what we're saying. We don't have to convert those who agree with us. We have to convert those who don't. And it's very possible to do so. I've had people say that it's not possible to do so. It is. I've done it. You might have done it. And we can do it better and more if we concentrate more on it. The key to this is understanding what we're saying. Okay? Understanding and having a good knowledge of the principles that we're espousing. Now, there will be some on the left that cannot be reached. They've already been reached, and they've been reached extremely effectively by those who practice certain things as laid down in Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. They have been swayed. They are true believers on the other side. For the most part, they can't be reached. Now, there are some, and some of the great current conservative commentators were once leftists who saw the light of illumination. What are they? David Horowitz being one. What's the guy's name on the? Well, I can't think, and I'm not going to take any time trying to. But there are a number of people who, having seen the light, came over, and they do sometimes the best job of explaining and supporting the conservative position, because they have already seen the problems with the left. They've seen the lies of the left. But there will be many on the other side that you can't be reached. there are many in the middle, if we say the middle, and that usually just means the uninformed. You can say the middle, you can say the moderate, you can say and that's not the same as. I used to argue with Limbaugh on this because he said he didn't believe there was any such thing as an independent. And I think he was confusing that with moderate, because I am independent. I refuse to align myself with either party. But there are many moderates out there who usually that simply means they don't know what they're talking about, nor do they know what anybody else is talking about. And they're just easily led with the one who comes along with the most appealing message, the one who seems the most caring and the most reasonable. And that's the key. Too often we on the more conservative side, and I would say the reversionist side, to the uninformed and the uneducated, we can seem like we're pretty hard-lined, and we are, and we should be, because what was it that Barry Goldwater said? Extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice. And so we are extreme. There is nothing extreme about saying that right is right and wrong is wrong. So in that sense, we are. And to people who have grown up in or adapted to a society where everything is squishy, and to take a definite stand on anything is seen as hateful because it's hatred against somebody who feels differently than you, it's difficult for them to accept what we're saying. But we still have to get to them, because those are the ones that we can inform and bring to our side. Most people, when they are presented with a good argument, when they are presented with facts and truth, and not allowed to escape, with just a toss of the head and a running off, most people can be persuaded. If you think they can't, just ask yourself why the other side has been able to do it so well, but you think you can't. Okay, that's giving up before you've entered the fight. That's essentially just refusing to fight. And our country and our lives and our children's lives are more important than that. They're too important to refuse to fight. If you're willing to go out there and take it to the next level, and you're not willing to inform yourself more and develop your ability to persuade, then I have to question the extent to where you're really committed. I don't mean to say that accusatory, but I will simply say that it's important to be able to contend with the other side on all levels. So these people can be reached, and they can be persuaded. Now, you may be familiar with that saying, and I probably won't get it exactly right, but if you want to persuade someone, strengthen your argument, don't raise your voice. So strengthen your argument. You might practice this you might sit around with your friends some Friday night with a beer or a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or something like that, and talk and say, what kinds of things, how can we change our delivery? How can we modify the delivery of our message so that it's less scary to others, so that it sounds reasonable and attractive? Now, if there's anybody out there saying, well, that's just a bunch of squishy nonsense, no, it's not, and you're wrong. Okay? Because the purpose is to get those people, to convert those people. Do you just want to fight them just because it feels good? Or do you really want to try to save this country, or at least build something new out the other end? Or you just want to give up? Okay. If you will convert these people, and a lot of us, I know a lot of us on our side of the aisle, we're Christians. Okay. And for any of you who aren't, that's fine. Not everybody is a Christian. And this is in no way dealing you out of the equation. But for those of you who are Christians, I would ask you to think about this, and that is, you know that we are given the commission to convert to Christians, other people to Christianity, and you take that seriously and you'll stand up for that. And yet you won't somehow give any effort to converting those who feel differently than you in a political sense, when really it's the future of our country that hangs on it. I would hope that you would, and that's what I'm trying to say here, that before, and hopefully instead, of taking our opposition to a much higher level that nobody with any sense wants, we have to try everything we can when dealing with converting and convincing and persuading more people to our side. When we do, we add to our strength and we diminish the strength of the other side. Again, I'll say, they have been very effective at it. We have to become more effective at it. And we have to strengthen our argument. And we have to present it in a way that's attractive. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. That is not being mamby-pamby. You know the old, you attract more flies with honey than vinegar? Okay? There's a reason that these sayings become old sayings, because they're true. Okay? Anything that you ever wanted, I don't care whether it's a date with that cute girl, or a job, or a whatever it is. Did you go in there and try to get that done by being all belligerent? I doubt it. If you did, I'm sure you're still looking for a date or a job, right? Okay. Anyway, what I would suggest is strengthen, just like I'm going to do with the kids today. They're going to start memorizing the Declaration of Independence. Do you have a good, solid grasp on the principles on which our country was based? Can you argue that? Can you argue the rightness of it? Can you present it to those people who may not know in a way that is attractive to them, that is reasonable to them? Because in almost every argument, it is the reasonable sounding person that wins. And it's not just the person that you're talking to. There will be other people listening, and you'll have an effect on them too. So I'm going to leave that at that. But this is Freedom Friday, and every day should be Freedom Day. And we've got a lot of work to do getting our country back to the way it ought to be. So I encourage you again, go over. Thanks again to everybody. It's great to have you over there on Patreon. If you're not over there, I welcome you over there. There's going to be some great resources for you to have over there. And remember that America needs a reversion, and it needs you to be a part of it. Okay. You all have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.